Bonsoir, hello, good evening. And I'm kind of a bit of trouble because when I started the stream to prepare, I noticed that there was a big update on the Kakao Janggi application, and they like completely changed the graphics and also the layout. So I had to kind of refit that in emergency, but like the background won't be like it's in the other streams, and I won't be able to activate the arrow, so that will just be with the mouse. And since I don't know how to like change all the options and whatever, uh, maybe there was a solution, and it seems that like the resolution doesn't fit the set I have, so that's a tiny little board, but I've been able to rescale it, and that should be like okay. So yeah, excuse the quality for the stream, but still we'll try to play a good Janggi tonight. And as you can see, last time we reached like the third cup, and that's 6 victory to go for the second cup, and maybe I'll try to reach the second cup. It will be hard if I lose a game, but let's try to do like complete win. And we are very close to 2100 elo, which begins to be quite a serious level of play. So let's go for the first one. And like yeah, they changed everything, and I noticed like half an hour before. And I play the third cub, and with also strong elo. And so okay, let's pick inner elephants, and I hope that the game fits. And they also did change that now the piece of the opponent, they appear like it would be on a real board, so face down, but that's not great, I mean, for game. But maybe there is an option to reverse the pieces, but I had clearly no time nor skill to do that, so that will be how he played. And I can see that's a player that haven't played so much games, and he really was better than this, I guess, so that will be a tough game. So he went for left elephant, so oh, that's so awful. That's kind of, yeah, not so used to get the piece in that side. But I do my best on this one. But I would say that's the same for all players, because they're so rare. And probably I think like all the Korean streamers, they may have also a lot of troubles, because they kind of all use the same set. So they will have to rework that also. Oh yeah, they changed the app when I downloaded it, like just before. It was like 30 megabyte, and before it was like 15. So they changed a lot. Still, I'm glad I could kind of begin on time, but that's, I don't know. Probably the biggest concern is for the Korean streamer, I guess. I think they won't like that big update. But since I don't know Korean, that's a bit complicated to investigate the question. But yeah, that's a major graphic update, but I don't know what it brings. I mean, that's just a white theme, and also they kind of resize everything, and it doesn't feel at all in the emulator, and that's, yeah, not the best. And I feel like I'm playing like a noob, because on my screen, like, that's very small. It's like 1/10 on my screen, the board I play on, so I have to be kind of close of my computer. But okay, let's try to focus, and I can't show you the move with the arrow, but this pawn there may be a bit weak, so we'll try to go with the rook simply, and put some pressure. We already have the elephant on this. Yeah, I don't think that's related to the chat, but my I don't know, my YouTube chat to redirect the link and skin just failed today, so in term, in addition of the kakao Janggi, I cannot print the chat, so that just be an empty square in that position. Sorry for that, but I will yeah, probably find a solution for this. But those are not related, but there is some days where like everything happens. And it seems that's one of those. So we can bring the pressure, but the risk is that the knight may go here once the rook, for example, takes. And here he is giving the column that he freed, so that's great for us. He may push, but there's no short-term big deals. The counterpart is that once the pawn is here, the cannon and the elephant have a threat on that, but that's my job to evaluate if it's worth or not. And I think yeah, I go like this and that cannon, so I think he will push the pawn. I will go there with my rook and probably take with the elephant, pawn takes, cannon takes, and then that cannon may be a bit out of play. I will have to mind the column because of this rook that will be a bit more opened, but still I will have some counterplay. So he goes to open this file, which is also quite natural, and I just bring the cannon in the center, and that also forbids the rook to check in that position. Alright, so there is kind of castling with the king, but now if the elephant takes, that check. There's no way to use that right now, but that's something to know. And let's, for example, now if I try this, you will bring the guard, and that will be 1, 2, 3 pieces. That's a bit too much to handle. Okay, yeah, I think I will secure the play also. Pushing now may be annoying. I mean, that will lead to kind of unbalanced situations, and I don't know what to choose so much. So if I push, take, bring the rook to get the pawn and the elephant, he pushes, and I need to find a square for this rook, and that may be a good idea to kind of try something. Okay, yeah, that's completely messed up. You're not able to see the timings. You can hear that I'm in the Bayoyomi with 30 seconds, but sorry, you won't be able to see the clock tonight, neither. Yeah, you can just see here this square, that's to buy extra time, and that's to, I don't know, save the position for analysis. Never understood this one so much. Okay, so he gave back control of this row, and that's to sacrifice the elephant, which is a good move. I think he's a better position now, but I really blind with that piece configuration, because if I take, then cannon takes. So maybe that's a bit more aggressive to go for this, in hope that both of his cannon will be out from the center, and if he comes back, for example, then he can do that. So that neutralizes a rook, and I may also bring my cannon to that spot. And that's, yeah, what I will do right away. because if the elephant comes back, then I'm able to take with the rook since it's protected by the cannon, and I gain like a free cannon. And once the elephant is back, I have to mind that he may attack the rook, but it seems to be not a real deal for now. He may try to do something like this also, and there may be some fork with the rook, so I have to pay attention. But for example, if the elephant doesn't move, then elephant takes, pawn takes, and rook takes cannon, since there's a piece that's removed here. Okay, so he's back to the center, and I have to pay attention that if the cannon moves, then I am losing my rook. But the counterpart is that... Okay, yeah, I can take this, so that will be an elephant for 2 pawns, which is slightly better for him. And now the rook is threatened, but I have simply to find a square to go. Or try better, but no, that will be fine at this spot. I don't want to double the rook on the same row because that may block the mobility for here, and at that point give some protection to that weak pawn in particular. So mind the fact that the cannon here is pinned for now, but there's no way to use this directly. Okay, I'm also paying attention to the fact that I don't have my cannon to the middle, so if he's able to remove pieces, then I may be in danger, but that's not for short-term considerations. Okay, bringing the rook into the play to this square likely, and I'm not achieving so much here, so yeah, but no, I can't come back here because then the cannon jumps in. So let's simply play with the knight and use this pawn to push, or I can take with the rook or even the cannon. I'll go for the rook, because if the knight goes to the center, then my rook is threatened, the pawn, and whatever this rook cannot really dig, you would need to bring to tear down the fortress, which is not achievable. So that's to threaten this kind of weak elephant, and also to unpin the cannon. So I'm not doing so much on this file, but if I come back, then okay, let's play with the cannon in order to be able to defend the elephant. They are both defending, but this one is pinned because there is the cannon, so I cannot count on that to defend. I don't see so many offensive opportunity right now, but I'm trying to see where it would be appropriate to go, and that king is in a kind of awful position. Okay, I leave the square so that the elephant protects each other. He may bring this pawn here, but that would be the mistake because I can simply take it. Okay. I'm not finding the weakness in his play. That's okay, not sure that's a good move, to be honest. Elephant takes. Now I think this one will be hard to win. Elephant takes, cannon to take the file, but the rook here is pretty solid because it covers the elephant if pawn takes back. So looks like we are running out of solutions, but I wasn't expecting this, and we almost could win the rook with the cannon here. We'll buy some more time. So cannon to threaten, rook has two choice, but here there's no way to kick him out from the play, and he used this, I guess, to take this file. So still I'm trying to find a way, but looks like I won't be able to trap this rook. Okay, so a lot of pressure will be coming to this row because my king is there and cannot really come back to the middle. This cannon is a bit out of play, like 0 square to go, but not so easy to activate quickly. And I was thinking about sacrificing, but there's no like gains, so maybe the best is to push. Cannon go there, and now the rook is covered after that. Trying to find solutions here, but okay, I will bring some more pieces to get some safety, and at the same time that enables this cannon to jump and jump back. So that's what we'll be doing right now. So we get again the control of that file, and he may go to this square, because if he goes here I simply push the pawn and he has to go here. And what I was looking and trying to do was to trap the rook in that square, but there's no way to bring pawns or have a knight or have even another cannon, so sadly that won't be the way to go. And the problem is that if I bring back the cannon to the center, then he simply pushes there and my elephant is dead because not protected anymore. So there's an extra step I need to do, and that's to block this file. Okay, now he like kind of rotated with his cannon, so he's happy with that. And I'm back to the center, I guess. Yeah. Now we have to be paying attention about this. Is there a way? Sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat. Did you write this a long time ago? The 88 cannon. Oh yeah, that was a long time ago. There was not so many ways to attack it. If I went with the rook, then I could risk that he fly to the other side, or simply bring the rook back here or here to get it, and that would have not have been a proper solution to go. Alright, so there's a discovery with the knight, but not so much aggressive squares, and actually I may be tempted to bring the rook here, but the knight is providing a solid... Okay, let's try this. Yeah, that was a while ago. So in terms of time, I'm simply 30 seconds left again, and not so great things to do, and he decides to trap my rook. But if the knight moves, then the pawn there is not protected, and I can simply take it. But the risk is that he brings the pawn there. So the answer is to bring another threat to this pawn, so that rook takes. And maybe he won't be able to... he will have to come back, likely, but I can sacrifice the cannon and go for the pawn. But I'm not sure that my endgame will be winning, because this knight is like out of play and cannot be quickly recycled. I may have to sacrifice the elephant so that the pawn goes, and then the knight will have some squares, but that's not so easy to consider. Okay, hello, bonsoir, Julien. So, rook takes, rook takes, rook takes, rook take elephant. Yep, rook take elephant, and I have a small discovery here. I can take his elephant. But I think I'm dead after that, because the knight simply moves, and that will be hard to deal with. There was a silly update, like I just discovered it like half an hour before beginning the stream, so it messed up the layout, the colors, and like everything. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's losing an elephant. So we are 2 pawn down, and that may be hard to get alive with this. Okay, simply taking back the control of this row, and I will try to recycle the cannon, but I think I will quickly resign this one if it doesn't go the way our opponent is solid, that's for sure. Okay, the idea is... yeah, no, I forgot that move, so I simply wasted a tempo. So let's come back to this row that will be secure to push the pawn, and now we have directly pressure on the king. The cannon is still able to jump diagonally, but seems to be more and more complicated. My hope may be in the central column, if I'm able to remove the cannon. So if he attacks there, in that case I will simply kind of move the guard. That's a risky move, because that's weakening my fortress, but that will be giving more attack ideas. Alright, the problem with this move is that if he moves the pawn, and that's what he will probably doing, then the knight and the guard are pinned. Okay, so I could sacrifice, take the center. Okay, why not? So the knight is 5 points, the pawn is 2, so that's 7 against 7. But the knight won't be able to sneak in too much, I think. Okay, go back home. So he's bringing the pawn to the center, and we may push there where there's no way to counter. So that's an important square to keep with my rook, is this one, because if he moves, then I will have to go with the pawn to defend, and that square, if the rook goes there, that would be checkmate directly. But if the cannon goes this way, then it's okay to leave that square. Okay, the next move will be pawn to this place. And I'm fine with that. So you can see the point counting, so that's 36.5 for me, and that's 39 for him. I can see them, but since the layout is not matching at all, then it doesn't appear here. It should for you, but I only can see that, and I had no time to rework the layout since it was a bit in a rush. Okay, let's try this way.
10초 남았습니다.
That's a bit of a silly move. My hope is that I can check here, but he simply needs to go there and my knight is dead. So if he takes, he loses the game because rook takes and after the guards fall, but if he moves, then I'm pretty sure I am dead. Trying to see if there's something that could save the play, but nah, no, that's completely over.
10초 남았습니다.
So here he simply can wait because the knight is trapped, 0 square to go. He wasn't forced to take it right now, he should simply have bring back the pawn or something. So let's threaten the rook. Come back, so that protects. And after I will take here. That's a noob move because he simply can go with the cannon, but I will try, and after that I will resign. Oh, that's also a way to go. No, let's not waste time. Alright, so I don't want the ad. I'm a bit disturbed because the size is really small on my screen and the pieces are upside down, but I simply get used to, so that should be okay for the next games. And we are with Cho, and we play right side elephant. Oh, and he goes for the opposition. That's an interesting move. Not so advised, but And the idea when someone goes for the opposition in the right side is to go with the elephant. He may check discovery, but I simply bring the cannon. If he goes back, okay, I lose the file, but I have a square to go with the rook, and since I gain a pawn here, I'm very happy with that. Alright, and we also have a nice square to go with the rook. I may have played the rook there before. Okay, so that's kind of blocking my cannon, because if I come back then the elephant takes. But okay, I simply ignore this for now. I prefer to check because this side is very empty, so if he goes back then my elephant may have a funny check at some point, and if he brings the pawn here, I'm happy that he splits the defense, and I may get some use about this later. Okay, if I bring my rook here, then there is a fork with the cannon and the rook, so I'm kind of forced to go to defend with the knight. Sorry I can't show you with the arrow because I couldn't get the script on time, but the idea is that the knight may threaten the cannon. In that case, if the knight goes here, I simply bring the pawn, and that's kind of extra tempo. Alright, what I had in mind was with the knight to use the cannon to jump and gain the rook if I could defend here. That's not on the table right now, but that's still something I would like to do. Actually, I may bring the cannon, but there is a big discovery, so I'll go for this, because he may want to sacrifice the elephant, pawn take, and the rook gets in the play. So in that case, elephant takes, pawn takes, and I'm completely fine. Alright, the knight is already protected with the rook, so there's no risk that he brings the rook. He cannot bring the rook there, so he's probably aiming to that spot. But in that case, I simply can play with the knight. That would give a very solid structure with the knight, so the rook between his cannons. The issue with that move is that he may simply jump with that cannon, and that would target one of my weak files, so I don't want to allow that. When you play like this, don't forget that the cannon can come back and also protect everything. But yeah, this cannon is in a weak spot. So there's... Well, if he moves the knight to 66... yeah, I think he should have done this, because I forgot that when I bring back the pawn. So yeah, I go with the rook there to prevent this square, but I don't know what would have been the way to go. Yeah, I missed that. So right now if he goes, I simply take the rook. He has no so much squares. Okay, he's going for something quite defensive. What if I push this cannon to that spot, and then yeah. No, you can't go here. Oh, I'm playing quite bad because that's hanging this pawn. Oh, my cannon is 3, that's the good news, but that's not so worth it. Okay, that would be too dangerous to go here and leave the discovery, so I have to bring the cannon to the center. There's no direct threat, but most of time that's not the greatest thing to do, unless that's very intentional and there's a real purpose doing that. If I bring the cannon there, then it's simply pinned and lost. But I don't want to leave this cannon to this place too long, because it's pretty useless here. Rook check will be coming soon. Bleh. Oh, I'm so not the greatest play tonight. Then there's a pawn hanging, and still we may have some counterplay at some point, but that may be 1 or 2 tempo too late. But yeah, let's see what will comes. Okay, this elephant is like not threatening so much, and he came back with the knight. I wasn't counting on this. I think he would bring another knight or the other elephant, but I don't get why the retreat is the best. Of course he gets back the column, but that's not a huge advantage. And I have to waste a lot of tempos, because if I want to play back with my cannon, then I have to consider this move. Okay, so we have a fork here with the knight that will allow us to gain the cannon. Is it better to... I think if I play the fork directly, bring back the rook, and that doesn't work, so... yeah, but now he can bring the cannon. Yeah, no, not the greatest play. That doesn't sound a great move, but the cannons are a bit out of play. The good news is that this one is still defended, and this one may come back to one of those 3 squares, and the important piece is that the knight is protected, because if the rook came here, for example, then that would have been hard to deal with. But this cannon has like 0 square. I mean, this one is like not really the square. Okay, let's play it quite aggressive, to go for the material rather than the position. And he's offering the knight. So cannon sacrifice, squad takes, rook takes check, rook there, and rook checkmate. so I can't allow him to play this. I'm closing my king in this file, which may be annoying. But still, about those pieces, if he wants to defend, he has to go back here to protect the elephant, which provide a good counterplay. And he may go for the cannon. I'm losing 2 points, and I don't care at all because that cannon is already out of play. So I'm quite happy with that situation. And if he goes for there, then I simply take with the knight. Okay, what may be soon annoying is that the cannon go here and then it will have an access to my fortress with no clear way to defend it. Nope, that doesn't work. Fork the rook and the cannon. No, there's not on square that are compatible for a fork right now. Okay, the elephant was threatened, but it wasn't in my idea to take it because that would. Oh, okay. I will buy some time because I was only like 30 seconds left. So he's hanging the pawn, but he will bring the elephant and gain the possibility to trade the elephant for a quad. No, okay, I'll take this because that gives some access for my rook, and since the quads are split, we may have some interesting things to do, but I guess I don't have enough support to like fully attack. Like a cannon there would be kind of great and needed, but nope. Okay, check, that's kind of useless. So if he pushes, I simply come back to defend. And if he doesn't care, elephant takes, okay. So the score is 37.5 points for him, and for me that's 40 points. And soon it will be 34.5 for him when I take the elephant. Okay, cannon check, and here there's a big mistake to do. It's to bring the guard. Because if I bring the guard, then rook check, I have only one move, it's to bring the guard, and rook takes, supported by the cannon, everything is pinned there and I lose the game directly. So the knight helps to hold the position. I don't know if I will be able to hold for long, but we have better score, so we simply need to be able to defend this. Maybe the cannon will have to fall back, of course. I may pin this cannon at some point. It would have been, I think, slightly better for him to jump in the diagonal with the cannon, because if I bring the rook, he can simply bring the guard and the cannon is still able to play and jump, while here if I bring the rook, the cannon is pinned. So I think that was just slightly better. Okay, that prevents the knight from retreating here. But at the same time, I don't know what else he got, because if he takes, that's protected, so... I will just secure with one more piece. I wanted him to avoid to be able to check me from this side. Since my guards are on that side, I prefer his rook to stay on this side of the board. And when he will be able to like do and pass, he cannot directly because of the knight. My cannon will have already defense, and I think that should be it. Alright, so knight check, pawn, guard, and that holds. Because the knight covers the defense. Otherwise that would have been a complete disaster. It would have been simply rook takes and I cannot take back. But since the knight is great, he prevents the rook from check, he prevents the rook from take. And here what he plans to do is probably to take with the cannon, if I'm right. So I'm offering a pawn for a tempo. If he he cannot really take with the rook because there's the knight, and if he takes with the cannon, I may try to defend. So. The risk is that the rook goes there and pin the cannon and simply wins the cannon. So that's what I'm currently trying to pay. Those guards are neutralized by his cannon, and I may not be able to jump back. So some calculations are needed, and the best is likely to use the rook. So that if he goes there, I can simply link the pawn to the center. Like this. Even if the rooks reaches this square, I'm fine. Okay, if it takes, I cannot take back, but I calculated that I'm fine with this position, because if he jumps back I take. He may jump here, but I simply bring the rook and he won't have any square to go. So I think that that will be a victory for us, because right now the king is safe and like it's a bit falling apart for him. Simply double checking. So even if he threatens the cannon, I simply take the cannon, he takes, and I'm fine. Okay, that's still the same ideas. What if I check before? No. So rook there, rook come back, up like this, and if rook takes, then I take this cannon and this cannon stay pinned, and simply rook takes cannon the move after. Otherwise, if he comes back, then rook takes, and that's a free cannon. Okay, so the mistake is to take this one, and it's way better to take that one. And I think he will resign here. Yeah. Alright, so... oh, but no, sorry, the layout is... yeah, I can't show you variation, for example, that layout, like that update is horrible. Alright, let's go for and next one. And we'll be playing a 4 cup with a lower elo. And let's play for right side elephant. Okay, so he played ton of games and it seems very stabilized to this level. And still that's horrible to see the pieces upside down. It's weird because on a physical board it seems completely natural to play with pieces like this, but on computer that seems not natural because all sides they adapt so that each player has all pieces facing you. And that's the opposite elephant configuration, and I think I like never ever played this because I not so much play side elephant, and every time I play side elephant the opponents choose or same side or inner or even outer, but never opposite side. So yeah, that's I think one of the only games that you will see with opposite elephants, and there is a reason to that. Is that with blue, since you choose this, I think that was a a rubbish move. Can lose a rook. But I can do the same here. When you are blue, you choose the position of the elephant in second position, and you get more advantage by choosing, for example, same side rather than opposite side. You are able to get more advantage from that. Okay, so what's the right play? Maybe intermediate check. Elephant takes. Not sure actually. Checking is the best. Okay, let's go for simply completely stupid. So take, can take the knight, I can take the knight, and so ever. Okay, no, I go with the elephant. He may sacrifice a rook, yeah, that's the best to do. And since I don't want the knight to be out of play, I prefer maybe having this square, then I simply come back, take with the pawn, even if that's kind of breaking this column. And there's no way to prevent the cannon from coming back, and there was a threat of the knight, so by moving the elephant we move that. Okay, yeah, that pawn was hanging, but that's not such a big deal because okay, let's set a little trap. that doesn't work. My idea was to bring the cannon to kind of block this one and after kill it with the knight, but you can simply open with the rook, and since there's no way to protect the cannon, that doesn't work right now. Which is a shame, because that was a nice idea. Okay, so he lost his falling back square, so he has to go to the corner, and my knight may play at some point, but that cannon is better than those are, even if we have a slight handicap in terms of materials. So we are 55.5 against 59. Okay, I wasn't. Oh yeah, but that's because I gave a pawn for that. Okay, time to go back in order to reach this square. But of course he may bring the cannon. So I play this spot so that if he moves, could think about moving, then that's an elephant hanging. But he may bring the elephant there before, that would make sense, and also block this one. And I'm kind of forced to exchange. I mean, I'm not forced to take, but I won't flee somewhere else, because that wouldn't really make sense. Simply pushing the elephant back home and giving space to the rook. And if he goes for pushing the pawn, I push exchange and I have a well-placed rook. So I'm fine with this. No, I will let him take my elephant. There's no... But I may take this one. Yeah, because that's an isolated pawn, and I will be able to exchange it, rather than if I took this one, it would go back to the corner and this pawn would be more annoying than anything else. And here the elephant has no like serious threat, so he may simply come back at some point. If he pushes the pawn, I take the elephant, so elephant take back and simply take the pawn. He may be hoping that rook takes, pawn there and save the elephant, but I'll take the elephant because that's worth a bit more and those pawns are not so annoying. Alright, now we have the rook to play with. There may be a funny move to try. Okay. So that's simply to avoid his cannon from coming back, and I should have played the pawn before. Yeah, I kind of wasted a tempo because I could have checked with the cannon, played too quickly. So basically just gave a tempo. And now he's coming back with the two cannons to get the two central files, which is completely logic. And I can't leave a hole for the knight here, that would be way too dangerous. So The cannon is protecting the knight, by the way. So we are 1 point behind, and the position is like not great, but still there's a lot of material remaining on the board, so that's not over yet. Okay, so he goes for the fact that my cannon is pinned, and if I move the knight, he simply takes the cannon, so I will have to give a pawn. But the counterpart is that when I push, the knight has to come back to this square, because if he comes back to the center, then the cannon is not pinned anymore, and I simply take the rook. So that's kicking the knight from the play, but also giving a pawn. I think he missed this square, because that's still better to keep the knight rather than this. Or he goes to sacrifice the cannon to that spot. Could be a nice move, but let's take it. Okay, he doesn't go for this. Alright, so there is no pawn to defend, so it's important to calculate properly what can be done with the knights for him. And I think the first thing to do is to remove this rook threat. Simply blocking that file, and also having this, and yeah, he brings the cannon to this place finally. I'm not so sure, because I can play it like this. So he may not attack the pawn from this position, not from there. The idea is to bring the rook to maybe gain the cannon, but that's not so easy to calculate, all things considered. Check. Okay. Check, bring the If knight takes, then he loses the protection on the cannon and simply rook takes cannon. And if he like find a way, oh actually I think the best is to take because there's no like big squares. But if he doesn't take, I can simply bring my rook here and that's very safe. Alright, he takes, that's clearly the best. And I go there, I protect this quad, I protect this fork, and I am winning by half a point. But the endgame is very unequal because he's like 5 pawns and he will push them and kind of crush everything because the cannon cannot stand so much pressure. So my hope to gain is to use the weakness on the fortress and go for the kill, because in the long term I'm losing. If he doesn't blunder the knight, so rook check is clearly on the way. I'm trying to find a way to block this. King there, great. Knight there, then he may play the fork. Pawn, rook check. Rook doesn't work so much. Let's just let the rook bring in. So by those kind of moves I'm potentially giving this, because he may rook check, king to the center, rook check, because that's protected by the knight take, but after I'm fine because the knight holds this. Don't like so much this knight, in fact.
10초 남았습니다.
Can I get some time? Could go for cannon there, rook takes check, rook takes, rook there, okay. Right, makes sense. But the difference is that now there's not the threat of the fork here anymore. So still trying to gain this knight. Okay, yeah, go. Can rook take, but I take this, and now that's losing for him. Alright, so that's highly asymmetric, and he decides to resign, I think for the reason that if he reaches less than 10 points, then the game is over, because that's the rule on that platform. And I may be able to exchange this pawn for another, so that will be 14 points, and I don't know, maybe sacrifice the knight for 2 pawns or something like this. But still I think he resigned a bit early, because there was definitely some push interesting that he could go for, since attacking with a cannon and a knight in the fortress it's a bit not enough. But I take it. I take it. Thanks. And yeah, I played that game on a configuration I'm not familiar at all, and I think I blundered the opening because he had he could do like way better. Okay, I understood why the chat is not available. I'm not connected with my something messed up with the Google account and YouTube, because that's when I wrote, that was not with the same account that I wrote at the beginning. I don't know what happened. Alright, let's get this, and we already have something pretty interesting here. Yeah. Okay, he goes for the discovery, but we'll simply leave that rook, and as you can see, a cannon won't be able to quickly go there. And now we go with the elephant. He goes with the knight. And in that case, the best is to sacrifice the cannon. Okay, because if you bring the other one, simply bring the rook, and with the pawn you can't get because the knight goes into play. That's I think I already showed a game where that's a typical situation where in inner sang you can get the rook, get what you want in the end. So he went with cannon take, which is not a great move because the pawn is not used to protect the elephant since the knight does, so I simply retreat the cannon to this square, and after I will take the cannon since the rook is there. And I would say, like, yeah, the game is already over because he won't have the material to come back in, and I will be able even more to secure this row, or not. Messed up my calculation. Oh, that's yeah. It was so messed up. So the elephant may get there whatever happens, and then the rook goes here and check, and I don't know why I thought that my elephant was covering there, maybe too excited by gaining a rook. Still we have a better position, but that there will be a small attack to handle. Maybe giving this elephant alright. That's timing to play a cannon in the center of the fortress, or not. Okay, I think I will do. I have to be very careful about... No, I think I just gave the game. There was a checkmate in one. Hello, Jazzy. Because I'm a bit blind tonight, and I thought he would go for the elephant, and that's what he did, but yeah, cannon in the center are often not very great, and there's a simple reason for that. And I don't know how I couldn't miss that. I think I will be mad at me if I lose that game, so that's time to focus again. Instead of bringing the rook, you should have brought the elephant there, because that was a fork with the cannon and also a threat of a rook takes checkmate. Alright, so check. The main idea is to unpin the knight, so now I can play it, but I will have to mind that the elephant can take the king if I move. And the good news is that that square is covered now by the knight and the cannon, so that if he tries to go here to play kind of checkmate, so when you have the king with two pieces there, there may be a checkmate with using the row, but that's won't be the case directly. And if he removes one of those two pieces, then simply rook take, and that will be very hard to deal with for him. But I hate the structure of my fortress, that's very messy. And there's a fork there. I'm not so... Oh no, there's not a fork, because, yeah, as we said, there is this small issue. Alright, so take the knight. And the funny thing is that, yeah, there was you could think that I can take the cannon and that's okay, but if the guard stays there, simply rook takes guard, checkmate. There's a move that doesn't work, that's cannon check, because he can simply prevent the check by taking the rook. So... Okay, let's sacrifice back. And if he takes this cannon, then I can take with that guard, and that will give some space for my king, and also link the guards, but I think that was better for him to go for this one. But right now he has not so much material to attack. Yeah, he may go with the cannon, but I will probably sacrifice if he goes for it, for the check. So rook takes, quad takes, elephant check in the corner. I was forced to take it, because if I move the rook, he goes with the rook, and he had the rook and the cannon on my fortress, and that would have been impossible to deal with. Right now, let's save this elephant. Oh, I wouldn't advise him to go to this. Right, that's the perfect knight move because it prevents the rook from checkmating also. And now I get this. And he's hiding to this corner, which is quite natural. Okay. So the score is 42.5 points for me and 37 for him. So that's 5.5 points ahead, but very unbalanced materially. Basically has only pawns and rooks, while I have way more diverse material. Is there a way to trap this rook? That's the question. Because I would like.
(10초) 남았습니다.
Now as I bring back the cannon there, and the idea is to give space for that king, because I'm not so happy with this, and like for example link the pawns. Yeah, that's what part of what he could do, but still the rooks does the job. So cannon there, but that's not trapping the rook. I get some more time just to make sure that I don't waste this game. So the knight is not required anymore. 111, 116. Sorry, I forgot to put the good coordinates. I don't think there was a checkmate. Maybe I missed something. Also, no, okay. That's sad because I liked the discovery with the cannon, but the rook is still defended and he won't sacrifice for those. That's not natural. So he may want to pin actually the cannon, but let's simply reach this square, which is way better. I may want to pin, but we can simply block this, and since the two rooks are not on the same side, then there won't be so much troubles with that. Okay, so that's giving the quad, but I have the discovery just after that. I'm not sure I should have given that guard. because you will be missing right now. I think I lost the game. I don't see a proper way to recover from this. Rook check, king there, rook takes, rook back, and rook take cannon. And I'm losing. Yeah, that's the same idea. Rook takes, rook check, and he gets the rook. Yeah. I can't believe I messed this. Yeah. Check. Who takes? No, that's dead. Okay, let's do one last. No, I asked for replay. Alright, so we are again with Han and playing with against side elephant with a guy that is probably strong because he's like 80% victory, like yeah, kind of similar. So I'll try to focus a bit more, but yeah, not playing so well tonight. No, playing very bad actually. To be a bit more honest. Okay. So for now, that's the very theoretical opening on that configuration. Bring the elephant. Defend with the rook. Yeah, this one is also feasible. So that elephant protects there. He will stay here a long time. What I have to be careful is, for example, if one day a cannon is able to threaten there, but there's no like big risks. And now the best is to castle simply to hide the king and get some play for this cannon. That's to defend the double attack on that pawn. If I push to rook takes, if I push the other one, then he could take. And not sure about this for him because he tossed away that elephant that was having a great influence in order to be able to threaten the cannon. He may have a nice outpost here with the knight because the elephant will prevent the rook from coming back, but that cannon can actually go to the center and that's quite solid. And there's no risks anymore of attack for me in this zone. And there I'm completely fine with this. I will hide the king and come back and being careful because there's a fork here with the rook, but all things considered, that's better to be in this position. So if I go there, cannon back, knight check, and I'm losing everything. So need to find some way. I cannot really bring the rook because that would pin my cannon. So what's to come is a pawn to this place. Okay, I'm not so fine about what I will have to do. So if he did knight there, then cannon takes, and here the only square that really works is to bring the cannon there, so that if the knight goes here, that's not check. So that's a cannon in the center of the fortress, but the position is holding. Okay, knight takes. Yeah, why not? Yeah, the update like broke everything, so I will have to to rework that, but I discovered this just before beginning the stream, so that was not great, and yeah, we'll see that. No, I haven't played yesterday, so I didn't know when it happened, but I don't really like it. Sorry, I'm trying to find a way to break in, but I'm not really satisfied with what I find. So I couldn't take the pawn because there was a discovery with the elephant that would check and then the cannon would be hanging. So that's what I wanted to avoid.
(10초) 남았습니다.
No, that doesn't make sense. Okay. It's not usual, but not a bad square for him to go, because I cannot chase him directly, and that also removes the threat. I get some more time. I could exchange the rooks. Yeah. I'm afraid of him pushing the pawns, because the knight has no great square after that. So rook there, the rook can hold, or yeah, he can go with the elephant. And that's my turn to play weird move. But there's the fork with the knight. Okay. I'll give the pawn, since I don't have so much to choice. No, I'll go with this one. And this pawn is protected actually. I forgot that I had a cannon to that spot. No, I should have gone with the other elephant, because now my knight is pinned for defending this pawn. That's what I wanted to do earlier, but I thought that would be good, but no. Okay, so that elephant has not so many squares to go. And at the same time he wants my cannon to go there and to lose the protection with the rook. So that's kind of annoying. Alright, so the idea is maybe to bring the cannon and pin, or if he goes for this, to remove the knight to this very defensive but quite solid position. Now if he tries to block my cannon, I sacrifice the elephant and jump back. And the score is 51.5 points for me and 51 points for him. So just a small half point winning, but this pawn will be annoying soon. I would say he's in a slightly better position. Oh, and it looks like I forgot that rook move. I think that's dead. Because once the cannon falls, there's not so much remaining, since he already has everything. So I think that's game over. Should have played safe and go back. Let's see if something can help. Not really.
(10초) 남았습니다.
No, that's there's no way to counter that. Check rook discovery. He hasn't so many places to go. There the elephant was pinned, so couldn't defend that. That pawn is very annoying here. So yeah, I don't see a way to go back from this. The only hope maybe to use the cannon and the fact that there is a big hole, but he should be faster to play whatever he wants, and I don't have any support here. Maybe at some point the cannon will fall there. Okay, let's try this. Yep, that was expected. Takes. Okay, let's see what it gives. Nasty elephant to this spot. How about this? That's very coward, but not sure. He should have sacrificed. I mean, he could keep the pressure, simply come back and come back after, but there now we'll have a kind of empty fortress. Maybe he was targeting to sacrifice the pawn to get the cannon, but the knight is covering, so I'm only 1.5 points losing. And I have some hopes. Not so much, but some. Okay, go back home. And knight there seems quite strong, because that's covering a lot. Yeah, gives support to the cannon, covers the elephant, attacks the pawn, free the rook to take the center. And this elephant has a nice spots on the fortress. Okay, that's annoying because I wanted that for my rook. But what if I target this little sneaky knight? Because if he moves I can push the pawn check or even directly check with this. And I think right now we are in a better position because we have a lot of, I would say, dynamic material, because there is 6 points that are in fortress for him and we have like 0 points in fortress. Still we have 1.5 point behind, so he has better score, but we have like pieces that are highly dynamic compared to him, and he will have some issue coping with that. Yes, take the knight, of course. And that cannon is like completely out of play. What's to go is pushing the pawn, like getting a lot of influence in the fortress, likely king there. Okay, he's trying to recycle, but he's blocking the rook. If, for example, I had a guard there, I simply bring the cannon and the rook is dead. I bring some time to just secure this. So check, push, check, take, check, checkmate. Sounds great. Here, if he goes there, rook takes, blocked, checkmate. If he goes to the corner, checkmate directly. So he's forced to go here, and in that position I can simply push since it's pinned, and he may try to defend with the guard. Guard takes check. He may save the day by fleeing, but that's losing a guard. But if he takes, then rook takes since it's supported by the cannon. I can try to push, that would force the knight to take and lose a support for the cannon, but still he's doing nothing with those. Yeah, that's why he tries. That makes sense. No, I won't take no risks. Maybe the best move was actually to bring the king here, but I won't take the risk to leave a pawn there. 25, 35, or he could take with the king. Yeah, I missed this move. Don't know why. Cannon takes. Guard take. Alright, and now that's becoming closer and closer to checkmate. There's no Bayomi, so no risk of opposing kings. Check. Best move is here, otherwise there, that's checkmate in one move, but if he goes there, then we have the knight that finished the game. Alright, and I think that will be over for tonight. That was kind of messy and wobbly. I lost game that I should win, I won that game that I should have lost, and the graphics weren't there. And I'm kind of busy this weekend, so I won't be like streaming tomorrow. So next week, next Friday, I will be the next sequence. So we just gained one game, not so much, but I was playing way better the other day, and that should be better next time. So wish you a good evening and like see you soon. Bye.